What did the Beige Book tell us? It seemed to confirm what everybody's been talking about, that one word that has dominated for the last 2 months, weather.
Yeah, you know, Scott, reading the Beige Book, I feel like I got hit with another storm, like it snowed another 3 feet, and it got down to -10. The Beige Book mentions the word weather 119 times, according to the word count program there. That compares with just 21 in the last month and 18 a year ago. So weather, a big fact. What was interesting to me, Scott, was the areas that it hit. You know, rail traffic in Dallas, homes throughout the country, manufacturing in 9 different districts. So to me, it does 2 things. It confirms, as you said, the notion that there was a big impact of the weather, and it sets us up for the market to maybe look beyond what could be a soft jobs report this Friday.
Nathan, does any of this matter?
No, this doesn't matter at all. In fact, the one thing I find amazing about the Beige Book, besides the fact that they could pick a color in Washington, is this is proof that absolutely if you have a Bachelor's of Arts in English, there is a job for you somewhere in the Fed. You don't have to be really smart with numbers, all right? I mean, that's about all I take away from this.
Are you suggesting that they're not looking at the numbers?
Oh, they're looking at the numbers. But when you look at the Beige Book...
They're making the numbers up.
You get an anecdote. Well, let's see. I think I'm going to hire. I think, I think today I'm going to hire. And I heard some guys down the street say things were good for them, too. It's about the weather. It's about whether or not, once we get through the weather, we're going to find out the businesses are going to stop giving out dividends or buying other companies. And maybe they'll actually invest in hiring people. That's what we got to see when the weather changes.
The market's in the middle of a trade, and that trade is that the weather's had a huge impact. Something comes along to confirm that trade, and I think it's important for the market to know that. And the Beige Book is, you know, it's not scientifically gathered, but it's a pretty broad cross-section of the economy. And I think the Fed is talking to pretty important employers, manufacturers, and other companies out there. So I wouldn't throw it away.
Nathan?
Well, Steve,
I agree with
Steve,
Steve.
I don't doubt what you're saying at all, but the survey that I really would believe would be Gallup, which came out today and said that February hiring, was up. Now, we believe Gallup to be within 2 or 3%.
I just think, frankly, there are too many numbers in this soup, and that we have so many numbers in this soup that it's very hard to make decisions based on numbers.
I've heard of a wall of data.
I think we have to make decisions based on policy.
Should we focus on? Which numbers, Keith, are you looking to?
Look, the weather is like the dog ate my homework. Sooner or later, you got to get down to fundamentals, and I think there's a lot of businesses that are dealing with it. I think they've got good sales, they got good consumers, and they got good products. That never goes out of style if you want to buy it. The Fed, forget about the Fed. The Fed's still making this up.
If you can't get there to buy it, it goes out of style. I mean, what is your point?
So that's a short-term aberration. Who cares?
You're selling this market because you don't believe that we don't believe the weakness is accurate, so you're selling stocks. Put your money where your mouth is here.
Of seasonal I'm short Tesla. I'm short a number of things right now. Don't tell me to put my money where my mouth is. We've been in this market the whole time. I'm short Tesla. I'm waiting for it to break. I don't understand what it is that hasn't broken.
I think that
the Fed hasn't made this up all it goes along.
Steve Leisman's point. Steve Leisman's point is if a report. Steve Leisman's point is if the report is pointing to weather, there's some accuracy in that. What I said earlier, the weather is having an impact, and if we have weak economic data, we know that the weather has an impact, and we're going to see stronger economic data as we get into spring. But right now, the market was doing well. Will continue to do well.
The market's moving because it's raining money out of the Fed.
Rick shouted out an important point. Rick's important point was, did you ever have seasonal adjustments? And yes, we've heard of them. What's happening, Rick, in my opinion, I could be wrong about this, is that the weather we've had has been overwhelming the seasonals. When you get things like snow in Atlanta, the seasonals incapable of picking that up because they don't expect it.
Is anything
in southern Michigan?
I love Atlanta. Georgia's a great state, but I'm sorry, I don't think GDP's going the way of Atlanta. I don't think so. And I'll tell you something.
Bingo, Rick.
That I live in the Midwest where we do have snow and we actually go to work, and if there's a number released from Chicago, it gets released even when there's snow. You got that, D.C.? And I will tell you this. I went out to the restaurant as often. I bought an appliance. I went looking for a car for my daughter. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. But there is a weather effect. And I'm sure wait a minute.
Rick, I'm in southern Michigan. Rick, I'm in the Midwest, too.